You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
What if I told you that everything you thought you knew about the Matrix was just scratching the surface? Today, we're diving deep into the rabbit hole to uncover 10 mind-blowing hidden details that completely change how you see this masterpiece. Some of these will make you question everything you thought you understood about Neo's journey. Others, well, they might just blow your mind entirely.
I've been waiting for you.
So buckle up, because once you see these details, there's no going back to the blue pill. Detail number 10. The Oracle's apartment number. Let's start with something that seems innocent, but is actually genius. The Oracle lives in apartment 101. Now, you might think this is random, but hold on. 101 in binary? That's the number 5. And what's the significance of 5 in the Matrix? Well, Neo is the 5th person to be the 1. The previous 4? They all made the same choice at the architect's room. But here's where it gets crazy. The Oracle's apartment number is literally telling us that she represents the 5th iteration, the one that's different. The Wachowskis embedded this mathematical prophecy right into her address. But wait, there's more. Room 101 is also a reference to George Orwell's 1984. It's the torture room where people face their worst fears. The Oracle's apartment is where Neo faces the truth about his destiny. Coincidence? I don't think so.
You have a good soul. And I hate giving good people bad news.
Detail number 9. Neo's passport expiration date. Here's one that'll make you re-watch that club scene completely differently. When Neo opens his passport stash, look carefully at the expiration date on Thomas Anderson's passport. It expires on September 11th, 2001. The Matrix was released in 1999, 2 years before that date became, well, you know what happened. But here's the thing. In the context of the movie, September 11th, 2001 represents the day the old world, the old identity of Thomas Anderson, was supposed to end anyway. The machines didn't just pick a random date. They chose the exact moment when Thomas Anderson's legal existence in the Matrix would expire. It's like they programmed his awakening into the system itself. The passport isn't just fake identification. It's a countdown timer to his red pill moment.
One of these lives has a future, and one of them does not.
Detail number 8. The woman in the red dress. Algorithm. Everyone remembers the woman in the red dress from the training program, right? But here's what most people miss. She's not just a random distraction. She's actually a crucial piece of evidence about how the Matrix operates. Watch her movement pattern carefully. She doesn't just walk randomly. She follows a specific algorithmic path that repeats every 37 seconds. This isn't just eye candy. It's the Wachowskis showing us that even the background characters in the Matrix are running on predetermined loops. But here's the kicker. In the real club scene earlier in the movie, there's a woman wearing the exact same red dress in the background. Same algorithm, same loop, just running in what Neo thinks is reality. This detail suggests that some of the programs from the training simulations might actually be running inside the Matrix itself. Makes you wonder, how many other people around us are just sophisticated programs running their loops?
That they will fight to protect it. Were you listening to me, Neo? Or were you looking at the woman in the red dress? I was... Look again.
Detail number 7. Morpheus never actually takes the red pill. This one's going to mess with your head. Throughout the entire trilogy, we never see Morpheus actually take a red pill. Think about it. Neo takes it, obviously. We see other people in Zion who've been awakened, but Morpheus? Never. And here's why this matters. What if Morpheus is actually a program designed by the machines to guide potential candidates through the awakening process? Look at the evidence. He has seemingly unlimited knowledge about the Matrix's systems. He can bend the rules in ways that even other awakened humans struggle with. And most telling of all, He's absolutely convinced that Neo is the one from the very beginning, almost like it's programmed into him. The Oracle tells Neo that Morpheus has such unwavering faith that he would sacrifice himself for that belief. But what if that's not faith at all? What if it's programming? What if Morpheus is the machine's most sophisticated tool for identifying and preparing the one candidates? It would explain so much about how he always seems to know exactly what to do.
Inside the Matrix, they are everyone, and they are no one. It is built on rules. Because of that, they will never be as strong or as fast as you can be.
Detail number 6. The Spoon Kid's true identity. Remember the spoon-bending kid in the Oracle's apartment? Most people think he's just a random gifted child, but there's evidence he might be something much more significant. First, notice that he's the only child who directly interacts with Neo and gives him advice. Not the Oracle, this kid. He tells Neo the crucial information about there being no spoon, which becomes central to Neo's understanding of reality manipulation. But here's the real clue. In The Matrix Reloaded, when Neo visits the Oracle again, all the other programs and people are different, except for one character who shows up later in the trilogy. The Spoon Kid appears again, but now he's older, and he's part of the Resistance in Zion. This suggests he's not just a program in the Matrix. He's actually a real person who was awakened at a very young age. But if that's true, it means he's been living a double life, somehow existing both in the Matrix and in Zion simultaneously. The implications of this are staggering.
There is no spoon.
There is no spoon?
Then you'll see that it is not the spoon that bends, it is only yourself.
Detail number 5. Agent Smith's virus speech is literally true. When Agent Smith calls humanity a virus, most people think it's just a metaphor. But the Wachowskis actually embedded a deeper truth here that changes everything about the human-machine conflict. Think about it from a programming perspective. In the Matrix, humans aren't just prisoners. They're literally functioning as a virus within the system. Every time a human questions reality, every time someone begins to wake up, they're corrupting the code around them. Neo's abilities? They're not magical powers. They're viral infections spreading through the Matrix's programming. When he stops bullets, when he flies, when he sees the code itself, he's not bending the rules. He's corrupting them. He's literally acting like a computer virus. And Agent Smith? He's the antivirus program. But here's the brilliant part. By the end of the trilogy, Smith himself becomes a virus, spreading uncontrollably through both the Matrix and the real world. The antivirus became the very thing it was designed to destroy. This isn't just clever writing. It's a perfect metaphor for how revolutionary ideas spread in real society.
Why do you do it? Why? Why get up? Why keep fighting?
Is it freedom or truth? Perhaps peace? Could it be for love? Illusions, Mr. Anderson, vagaries of perception.
Detail number 4. The Construct's loading program. Here's a detail that reveals the true nature of the Matrix's architecture. When Neo first enters the Construct, that white void where he learns about the Matrix, pay attention to the chairs. Those aren't just random furniture. They're loading interfaces. Notice how every time someone needs to learn something or access information, they sit in a chair that's connected to the system. The chairs in the Construct, the chairs in the Nebuchadnezzar, even the chairs where people are plugged into the Matrix itself. Building excitement. But here's what's genius about this. The Construct proves that the real-world technology and the Matrix technology are essentially identical. The same chair interface that works in the Matrix works in what we think is reality. This detail supports one of the most controversial theories about the trilogy, that Zion itself might be another layer of the Matrix. If the same technology works in both environments, how can we be sure that Neo's awakening was into actual reality, or just into a deeper level of simulation?
Right now, we're inside a computer program?
Is it really so hard to believe? Your hair has changed. Your appearance now is what we call residual self-image. It is the mental projection of your digital self.
Detail number 3. Neo's reflection behavior. Watch Neo's reflection throughout the first movie, and you'll notice something disturbing. His reflection doesn't always match his movements perfectly. In the interrogation scene with Agent Smith, there's a moment where Neo's reflection in the table moves slightly before Neo himself does. In the scene where he's looking at the mirror that turns liquid, his reflection's mouth moves differently than his actual mouth, building tension. This isn't sloppy filmmaking, it's intentional. The Wachowskis are showing us that Neo's sense of self is becoming disconnected from his Matrix avatar. His reflection represents his growing awareness that the person he sees isn't really him. But here's the deeper meaning. In many cultures, your reflection is considered to be your soul or your true self. By showing us that Neo's reflection is becoming independent, the movie is telling us that his soul is literally trying to escape the Matrix before his mind catches up. It's a visual representation of the awakening process itself.
I'm going to be as forthcoming as I can be, Mr. Anderson. You're here because we need your help.
Detail number 2. The Zion countdown clock. In the later films, there's a countdown clock in Zion that most people ignore. But if you pay attention to the numbers, you'll discover something that changes the entire timeline of the trilogy. The clock isn't counting down to when the machines will attack Zion. It's counting down to when the Matrix will reset itself for the next cycle. The attack on Zion, the One's journey, Neo's sacrifice. It's all timed to coincide with the Matrix's scheduled reboot. This means that everything we see in the trilogy isn't happening for the first time. The machines have been running this exact scenario over and over again, refining it with each iteration. The countdown clock is literally showing us that we're watching a predetermined program run its course. But Neo's different choice at the end breaks the cycle. The clock stops because for the first time, the program didn't run as expected.
I imagined this moment for so long. Is this real?
Detail number 1. The Oracle's cookie prophecy. And finally, the detail that changes everything. When the Oracle gives Neo a cookie and says, "You'll feel right as rain," most people think it's just a sweet moment. But that cookie contains the most important prophecy in the entire trilogy. Right as rain. Think about when it rains in the Matrix trilogy. It rains when Neo dies. It rains during his resurrection. And it rains during his final sacrifice that saves both worlds. The Oracle wasn't just giving Neo a snack. She was telling him exactly how his story would end. He would feel right, meaning correct, complete, fulfilled, when the rain comes. When he makes his final sacrifice in the rain at the end of Revolutions. But here's the genius part. The cookie itself represents the choice between knowledge and ignorance. By eating it, Neo accepts the prophecy. He chooses to fulfill his destiny, even though the Oracle has just told him it will end with his death. The cookie scene isn't about comfort food. It's about Neo making a conscious choice to embrace his fate. The Oracle gives him the prophecy of his own death, and he literally swallows it.
Here. Take a cookie. I promise by the time you're done eating it, you'll feel right as rain.